Happy lunch hour, gang. All right. Well. Sure seems the fallout from yesterday's Colorado ruling is making the waves this morning. Funny because looks like a lot of the analysis that I made happens to be the same stuff that's now coming out of legal scholars. Interesting. Uh, where it's going to get real interesting is this. Vivek Ramaswamy has come out this morning and said that unless this is overturned, he is withdrawing his name from the primaries in Colorado. Good for him. Okay. What does that say? He believes in the laws of the Constitution. It's funny, we haven't heard a peep out of Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley yet. And all Christie has come out and said, not that he has a chance, snowball's chance in hell anyway, but all he's come out and said is that the courts shouldn't be the ones that keep Trump from the presidency, that the voters should. Okay, which at least he's right. Okay, not that Christie has any standing whatsoever anywhere, but that's it. So the Colorado RNC has already come up and said that if they don't reinstate Trump on the ballot, they will cancel the primaries in Colorado and go to a caucus system. Now, if you know how that works, I'll explain it to you real quick. A primary is when you go to the polling place and they give you a ballot and you click the box, punch a number, whatever, however, you get a ballot of some sort. A caucus is when everybody who shows up at the caucus, whether it's small, medium, large, however, I sat through one in Utah in 2016. That was Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. And there were probably about 50 of us in that room that day, talked about and discussed, and then by hand vote said who we wanted to support. Okay. There was no ballot printing deadline or anything like that, which is the big deal for what Colorado's got going on right now. The reason that they're saying that this must be heard by the Supreme Court on January 4th is because January 5th is the date that the ballots all get printed. Okay. Now, people have come up and said that the write-ins are not allowed in certain states. One of y'all sent me an email with the whole deal. Mississippi, a couple other states don't allow write-ins. Okay. At that point, then, as far as I'm concerned, if Trump is not on the ballot in all 50 states, again, provided he's the nominee, which, considering now he has, I think, a 53-point lead over Nikki Haley, who's in second. I think it's 64-11. That's close. Okay. If he's not in the ballot on all 50 states, then by definition, that makes whomever is on the opposing side, be it Joe Biden, be it Gavin Newsom, be it Kamala Harris, whoever, by definition is illegitimate if they get elected. Because, as we said, free and fair elections, well, what Colorado has done is basically blown a hole through that with the howitzer. Okay. There's nothing free because the people of Colorado do not get free choice under a primary system if they keep Trump off the ballot. And they certainly aren't fair if the candidate that the people want isn't allowed to participate in the election. So that would completely blow out the free and fair elections, hence making whoever the Democrat candidate would be completely 100% illegitimate. Okay. If Colorado goes through with this, we have an unconstitutional election because there is nothing in the Constitution that prohibits Donald Trump from being on the ballot. Yeah, okay. Somebody's poor little feelings that are hurt doesn't make a lick of difference. Right? So we're going to see how this all shakes out. Now, what does this mean for the people? Well, I don't know. Let's start out with the fact that after this came out yesterday, the polls that have been taken this morning, Trump's increased his support. The American people as a whole are a hell of a lot smarter than what Washington gives us credit for. We don't like cheaters, never have. Ask the Houston Astros, ask Bill Belichick's New England Patriots, how their reputation took a shit because they were busted cheating. Okay, Americans don't like cheaters. We throw cheaters in jail. Ask Martha Stewart. What's going to happen? This comes right back to what I said this morning. Get ready for 2024. And it's going to start a whole hell of a lot earlier, because depending on what happens, what are we? Today's the 20th. So 15 days from now with the Supreme Court, 2 weeks, okay, we're going to know the exact roadmap for 2024. Are we going to have a fair election, or might as well on January 5th, you write it off and it doesn't matter? This is exactly everything that preppers, conservatives, Tea Partiers, whoever, whatever you want to call us, deplorables, have been saying for the last 3 years, okay? That 2020 was crooked. And the Democrats are realizing that now they can't pull the same stunts as they did last time, because there's going to be way too many eyeballs on them. So now they are creating a lawfare, all right, that they're going to find a bunch of liberal judges. And again, like I said this morning, all 7 of the judges on the Colorado Supreme Court were appointed by Democrat governors, okay? So these justices are not free and fairly elected, okay, first off. And again, depends on the jurisdiction. I mean, the Supreme Court justices aren't elected, they are appointed as well, okay? So there's nothing illegal about that. However, when you have a scenario where people get their feelings in front of the rule of law, especially when you are a Supreme Court justice, we have a problem. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Colorado, because this is going to go down ballot as well in many states. Who's going to support this? Who's not? Like I said, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, you've got crickets coming out of their camp. They're not saying anything. If they don't stand with Trump on this, they are basically telling the American public they side with the Democrats. Would you possibly, in any way in the world, vote for somebody that stabbed you in the back? Oh, we're trying to help. We're the better chance of beating Biden. No, you're not. If you stand by this decision of the Colorado court, you are no better, actually worse, because you're a traitor, okay? You are no better than a Democrat. And that's how this is going to shake out. This should make primary season, caucus season, everything straight to the Republican convention a walk in the park for Donald Trump. Because anybody who believes in anything that is in the Constitution cannot support the Colorado decision, cannot support the Democrat Party, and cannot support any rhino, i.e. Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Christie, who will not absolutely stand behind the rule of law. Even though they're running against Donald Trump, they should still have his back on this one. Because if it happened to him, it can happen to them. And guys, I want everybody to remember this. If it can happen to them, changing the laws to fit their narrative, it can happen to you. That's what's going on. If you're willing to just let some appointed dictator make a decision on his life, what happens when they come to make a decision on yours? Okay? The old saying, first they came for the blacks, then they came for whatever, and nobody stood up, and finally they came for me, and there was nobody left. Case in point, right there. We'll out.